Hi, Justin. How are you?
Hi, nice to meet you, Nancy.
Nice to meet you too. Tell me about bringing this film to screen based on the novel and deciding, well, not you particularly deciding, but bringing that direction they opted for the screen. Just escalating to the main action scene that we looked forward to.
Yeah, look, it really played as a sort of like I read the script and it was this fantastic genre film. It reminded me a lot of films that I really loved from the 70s in America. And, it sort of plays and this group of men are robbing banks and then you sort of find out why they are, that they're kind of creating the first homegrown sort of terrorist cell in America and following this book called the Turner Diaries to sort of take down the government. That was a real shock to me. I didn't realize that it was sort of based on a true story, and yet it had this kind of propulsion to it that was sort of like many of those classic genre films, and kind of strangely felt really modern. It was, even though it was sort of set in the 80s, it was sort of really sort of speaking to a sort of an environment and a kind of temperature that is obviously around today.
Can you tell me about the character played by Jude Law, Husk? I read somewhere that you said that it's not based on an actual person. So how was it that the idea of bringing him up in the story?
Yeah, well, I guess he's our point of view in the story. There were many investigators that sort of were part of the events at the time, and some more prominent than the others. But what was really important to us was to sort of, not follow a sort of true story there, to actually follow a point of view. And for us, it was this, man who'd sort of spent a lot of time in a kind of urban place, who was an investigator and was tired and weary and kind of had come to the end of what they thought they could kind of give, and was sort of looking to come to this place as a sort of sanctuary and a kind of, time to sort of take breath and then suddenly finds himself in the middle of one of the biggest crime sprees and you know, uh, um, one of the most kind of horrific kind of events that sort of start to take place. So we were sort of interested in how someone like him gets roped into investigating a group like this, and that character seemed to be a fantastic way into telling this story and finding a kind of truth to it.
As a viewer, I sympathized for that character.
Yeah, yeah. There's something very lonely about him, and there's something very isolating about him. It's interesting because all the other characters are kind of surrounded by family, and Bob Mathews is sort of creating this community and family, and sort of endlessly surrounded by people, and sort of needs people to get things done. But whereas sort of Haas, Jude's character, is doesn't have family, is kind of reaching for a family that he's lost, but at the same time is trying to kind of confront their own sort of isolation and loneliness.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations with this film. People are going to be
Yes,
watching.
mate.
I enjoyed it myself. Thank you
Thank
again.
you. Yes, mate.
Thanks.